DynoVfr 4.
Yeah.
Alright. Welcome to Philadelphia. You're watching DynoVfr. VFR.
Hey, we're back with episode 7. I'm guessing this is the Will Smith school, judging by all the murals that are everywhere. Anyway, the spot I looked at it before, I wanted to do a wall ride or something on it. But remember, there was like an overhang that was going over the wall ride that you had to kind of avoid. And Nick looked at it and thought he can get, you know, at least a soul foot up there. So, after saying what's up to Big Will, he's up on the mural smiling at us every time we need to go by it. I sat from the playground, kind of like filmed it from the back to like see how it would look from there, and it looked pretty good, but you couldn't really see the landing, so that's why I switched to fisheye for the completed one. But you could see that he's having trouble like going mock. He's getting on it, but like kind of like having to touch the wall every time, and it's kind of hard, like you gotta like avoid a window grate and then avoid the wall right afterwards, and then also take the drop. And you know, at an older age, to take like a 7-8 foot drop over and over again to start your day is not the most beautiful thing you want to do. But persevering through the rocky ground and the typical Philly pavement with rocks flying everywhere, you're skating up to it, the shit thrown everywhere. The landing's not the greatest, but got his foot on there. Didn't even wax it. You know, somehow just made it work. It was great Mesmer soles, but I think it's because his sole plate was missing already, so kind of like in a way helped him not scrape the wall as much. So him breaking a sole plate like earlier, like in the year, he had jumped on it, been able to lock it correctly, and then he laced that one. I think that was the only one he landed like clean too, but that's all it takes. And this is why you check all your loading docks and loading areas. So this spot he had actually gotten a clip on in Dyno too, and I'll show it right here. But we had always like, you know, we look upon the list. It's like that old saying, you always got to relook at old spots to see what they might have built or anything. So we go there, and it's like kind of like set up differently. It's like not slanted as it was. And he had the idea to kind of like pop off of it and go over just like, I guess like a parking barrier, parking cone, whatever. And going up and going down and check it out. And the cool thing about this is it really shouldn't work for that. Like you shouldn't be able to like ride your wheels up and be able to launch off of it. But the one time he's going and the dude opens the door as he's going, and I'm like, oh no, like that's it. But dude immediately closed it. It was very strange. Like, didn't say nothing, and usually, like, that's one of those times where, what are you guys doing? Like, what, like, and how do you explain that? Like, hey, I'm jumping on your loading dock to be able to just launch off your angle iron to get a clip, yo. Yeah, that would go over well in Philly. But he did this one. It looked really cool. Filmed it shittily. I think this is, like, one of the earlier clips we got in the video. But I wanted to throw it in here quick to show you the obscureness of some of the stuff we skate. And how we actually, not only that, we've gone back to this. And this is like 6 years later after the fact. 7 years later, right? Probably 7 years later after the fact of getting that last clip, too. So this last one, this is one where Nick was actually hurt. He had the idea of skating these like obscure, like, I think it's like North Philly spots. But we went to this one where it was like, I thought I could do something pretty quick. And it turned into a nightmare. Mainly because I'm pretty tall and I have like, you know, kind of a big wingspan. So I was kind of skating this thing that was a tight, another one of these are dumb spots, a tight edge right against the wall. And my original idea, I was going to zero spin alley fish it, and that would be really quick. And I decided, I did too many of those, or I want to do that on something better. Let me get a zero spin alley top horn, because I never do that trick, and it's different. I have a alley top horn the other way that I remembered, and so, you know, I'm trying that, and I thought that would probably be even easier, you know, like how hard is a top horn? Apparently I can't top horn. So it's also another one of the spots where I need to skate with speed. I can't just, you know, I can't tiptoe like a penguin up to a spot and be able to jump. I need to be able to just, you know, curve into it, or be able to like like just maneuver into something. And this spot didn't have the ideal run up. You had to cut in one of the, basically the definition of a Philly spot. You got to go in and cut in this way, and then like I had to cut in, turn fakie pretty much. That was half the trick pretty much. Half the trick was me turning fakie after going through the 90-degree turn the wrong way, and then being able to align myself up to grind the correct spot, and then also avoid my body from going into the wall. And basically it was like me just slamming into the wall over and over again because something would get messed up. I would slip turning. I would hit the wall, my elbow, so my arm would do something, my gangly foot wouldn't do something right. And then to top it off, going over and over again, and my cuff explodes. How does your cuff explode when I'm not even doing anything? And you know, I'm the most ill-prepared skater, as you can tell, and there'll be another episode about how I lost my cuff bolt at Flushing's, a 2-hour drive just to lose everything. But man, you're out skating, you don't expect that to happen all the time. And I didn't have extras, of course. You know, who does that? So I had to take Nick's cuff bolt off of his Mesmer and put it into my them, screw his cuff bolt on there because I had exploded the actual piece, the receptor for the them.
USD. Do they not have removable cuffs or something?
And what a nightmare. And I somehow got it on there. It didn't work, but it did, and like, you know, I hate skating sometimes. But, you know, doing that, then so now I'm with a terrible skate, like, which I'm used to through my life, because what I always have is a bad setup. And finally get one I'm like, okay with. I'm sweating like a dog. It's way too early in the morning. It's way too humid of a day, and just like, man, I just remember I wanted to scream, and I was like, I also wanted to have a place where I can order cuff bolt receivers because I've never even done that in my life. Like, I've broken wheels, I've broken sole plates, I've broken shells, I've broken cuffs, I've broken more wheels than anybody probably in skating ever has. I've broken more wheels than anybody skating ever has. But man, got the trick. Almost ruined my day, to be honest. It actually did ruin my day because then I had to skate Nick's busted up setup, which luckily he even brought his skates. That if I didn't have that, I just would have ended my day for the end of my weekend.